This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 255 of This is the G Podcast. What's up, y'all? Yes. I'm Tommy B, your host, and it's Black History Month. Y'all give it up for Black History Month 2025. I need to do this every day. Just mention, hey, it's Black something today. Yeah. And of course, you know, as we tape today, on this day we tape, in 1944, Harry S. McAlpin of the Daily World, which was based here in Atlanta, became the first Black accredited to attend a White House press conference. And this is more of a question for Tanya B. Okay, so in 1968, this young man was born. We all know him for the catchphrase of Wichita My Willis. And of course, the series was on from 1978 to 1986. Can you name that person born on this day?
Different strokes it takes. Different strokes to make what? To make the world, to rule the world,
to move
whatever.
the world. Yes.
Okay.
So you know his name. Go ahead and say his name. What's his name?
Oh, Gary Coleman. That
Absolutely.
was Gary Coleman.
Good job.
Yes.
Vi, you knew that too, didn't you?
Yes, Gary Coleman.
And of course, y'all, we do your weekly recap every single week. News, politics, pop culture, and that piping hot tea from the one and only Tanya B. Tanya B, how you doing? What's up?
Doing wonderful. You know, anytime I can talk about food or when I'm in the kitchen, I'm wonderful. I'm good.
Absolutely. So as we tape, we're taping Super Bowl weekend. So, you know, we're not going to be heavy into politics, but we're going to talk about what's going on because we have to, and we should. But as we tape, of course, it's Kansas City versus Philadelphia. Tanya B, I don't even have to ask you who you're going for. I know you got green throughout your household. I know it's everywhere. Jalen Hurts to the day he leaves, I guess. But in the meantime, you know, people really want to know the main thing they want to know from you, like Howard wants to know from you.
Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen.
What's cooking, Tanya B?
So Tanya B, what you got cooking?
For days like this, I do the easy breezy seafood boil. It's easy when you're cooking for a group. So you just get the big seafood boil pot with the strainer on the top. So you just lift it out when you take out the jumbo colossal shrimp, the crab legs. I do Dungeness and all the different types. Of course, we have to throw some lobster in there. We're throwing in some mussels. We've got the corn, the potatoes, and all that other fun stuff. Oh, and the turkey andouille sausage. And you know, while I was just sitting here thinking, yes, you know, my amazing dessert is red velvet cake, but that's a Kansas City color. So what I'm also going to have to do is to be equitable. I'm going to have to make a key lime pie. I can't help it. Got to have some green up in there.
Equitable.
Equitable, yes. And then like the disappearing DEI, yes, I'm going to be equitable and make a key lime pie.
Well, all right then. Hey, that sounds great. All right, so Howard wants Howard, you want the recipe, right? I know you're asking for it.
Absolutely. For the seafood boil, absolutely. Share that one. Share that one.
That's easy breezy.
Yeah.
Get yourself an apple, an orange, a lemon. Go get some, some Zatarain. Dump it in there. Oh, don't forget an onion. And if you do put a little bit of vinegar actually in the water, it makes the crab shells easier to crack. And I was telling Tommy B earlier, one of the secrets to a good red velvet cake is a vinegar.
Yes.
Just make sure you can't taste it.
Well, you can, with all that water, no, absolutely not. No. So
Good stuff.
if you're really feeling frisky, you can, pre-cut the crab legs and pre-crack the lobster shell.
Good stuff.
But
Y'all give it up one more time for the one and only Tanya B.
Right.
She will make this a cooking show if she can.
I may not. I'm only kidding.
And y'all see him. He's in living color as always. Y'all give it up for the one and only, the country commentator. Vi's in the building.
In the house.
Vi, what you got, man? I'm not going to ask you what you're cooking. I'm just going to ask you who you got in the game.
Who I got?
Yes, who you got?
I'm pulling for Kansas City because I want my home to make history.
Okay.
But I would not be I would not be upset if Philadelphia win because they got all the Bulldogs on that team. So hey,
the Philly Dogs. That's what
I can't lose. I can't lose.
So true.
The Philly
so
Dogs.
Yeah. So Vi, with that said, man, are you looking forward to halftime? Are you cool with that?
What?
Yeah,
with halftime, performance?
I'll watch it. But yeah, okay.
I'll watch it with the volume.
I tell you, I'm the man on the go. I'm the man on the old man on the porch. I'm just not a big fan of rap.
Okay, I'm
But he
you're
is.
good with it.
But I will say he is, out of all the young rappers, he is one of my favorites.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting. Tanya B, by the way, as I ask, do you know who's gonna be performing? Who's collaborating with him at halftime?
Side scissor. How about if you ask me if I care? Because I haven't even tried to find out.
Well, you know what I've been hearing? I've been hearing, I think Doechii, the rapper, I think she won like
best new artist. Best rap. Yep, sorry, best rap. And you know what? They would need somebody like her to move the needle because a lot of people are just not interested, and I am one of them.
But you know what I'm hearing?
Kendrick,
you
like
know what I
Bob.
heard last night, Tanya B?
Yeah, last night,
Because
Tanya.
you know he did the song Bad Blood, right? With you know who. He was on the song.
Yeah,
Taylor
just like.
Swift. So there's a word, there's a rumor that Taylor Swift may appear with him.
She got to stand up for her man.
She gonna be there. Why not?
Yeah. What you say, Tanya B?
I just think she's gonna be like Tammy Wynette and stand by her man because, like Vi said, she will be there anyway. Whether or not she wants to get all dolled up, it'll take her more time to get ready than she'll actually be on camera. But hey, it is what it is. But if you recall, they asked her to do the halftime show last year and she politely declined. So I don't know if they're holding that against her, and maybe just because she's in the building, she may not be on the stage. Whether she gets, nobody gets paid except the dancers, but maybe they'll say, you didn't want to come last year, don't come this year either.
Yeah, she might be trying to get some fans back from her endorsement in 2024. So.
Well, but you know what? Those people had already spent the money.
Say that, but go ahead.
No, those people had already spent the money, and there was no backseat. So all she'll do, the kids whose parents paid for all that stuff, they're still going to be in Swift Nation, and then she'll get some more. If anything, because her endorsement, she might get some black fans. Who knows?
Yeah. She ain't losing. Hey, she ain't losing.
How long they're going to stay remains to be seen. But
she ain't losing no Swifties, so she good.
Yeah, she ain't gonna lose the Swifties.
Green, just like Philadelphia.
They like that MAGA cult. They ain't going nowhere.
They ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere.
All right, y'all. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Bob. Let's go to the one and only. We call him Hitman for his takes. The Hitman, Howie, is back. What's up, Howie?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for the invitation.
He come out swinging with the takes. What's up?
Well, I just want to participate. Thanks for the invitation, as always.
So who you got, Hitman?
Well, I got one statistics before I tell you who I have. Since 2001, there's been 125 last-minute drives, meaning the team with the ball was down by either field goal or 7 points with 1 minute or fewer. Brady was 5 for 11 at 46 points by pulling his team through to win. Breeze was 3 out of 6, so 50% pulling his team to win. Mahomes, 7 out of 7, 100%. So if it comes down to a last-minute drive and Mahomes has the ball,
you're in trouble.
The year later, Philadelphia. But
I heard that everybody's saying if they get the ball last it's close, it's pretty much over.
It's over, yeah.
But all that being said, I sure would like Philadelphia to win this year.
Yeah.
I like the green you're wearing, Howard. Howard got on his green. I see you. I
got a little green on. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm a way in, man, and I picked the Chiefs for the first couple of years. I picked them, but I'm gonna say I really would like Philly to win because I don't want to see the Chiefs and the refs win this year.
Oh, and did you think the refs?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
There's voice a little lower.
I didn't mean to say that.
Y'all need to stop. Y'all wasn't saying that.
I need a flip.
Y'all wasn't saying that when Tom Brady was winning all them years.
Hey, stop. Hey, Vi.
Just stop.
Vi, country commentator. Let me remind you about that Falcons game earlier.
Oh no, don't remind us. Don't remind us.
We blew that one, not the rest.
Yeah. No, but wasn't I stand by what I said. I would like Philadelphia to win.
Yes.
Because I hate to see 2 against 1.
Actually, Philadelphia has the better team. They got the better players.
Yeah, they do. I
don't think Kansas City got his Mahomes. Other than that, Philadelphia got the better team.
I hate to see 2 against 1, Vi. Go ahead.
I think Kansas City has a better coach, but that being said, you're right.
Probably, but
where did Kansas City's coach come from?
Philadelphia, look out, they're telling you big.
But Philadelphia has so many.
I don't know a lot, but I know a few things. One thing for certain, two things for sure. But I know Tommy Young to say this. I want Philly to win just because I want. I'd like to see, although the fiance's racist tweets have resurfaced, I like to see just like a full circle year for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Giants are probably gnashing their teeth, and rightfully so. I'd like to see Jalen Hurts get it, at least one time.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
If they don't win it, if they don't beat Kansas City this year, they're never going to beat Kansas City.
Yeah. Even with the sick players, we're going to do a Hail Mary for the sick Philadelphia Eagles. They're not sick anymore, and they're going to find that adrenaline from somewhere, and they're going to come out slamming. I think it's going to be a very interesting game, and that's why I don't care about halftime.
Yeah, I got you. Hey, y'all, let's go ahead. We'll do news because we can come back. We're going to spend some time at the beginning, really after news, talking about a little bit of sports, okay? Because it's big game weekend. There's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world. We'll get to the politics eventually, but let's go ahead and do news with Syracuse Mike, and we'll come right back. Here we go.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
No tariffs today, at least for Mexico and Canada. The president of Mexico and the prime minister of Canada both spoke by phone Monday with President Trump. Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, said her country would send 10,000 National Guard troops to its border to deal with illegal immigration. Canada is reinforcing its border with new choppers, technology, and personnel, according to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Frankly, the number of issues at the U.S.-Canadian border is nothing close to the problem at the U.S.-Mexican border. A 30-day pause is now in place. You've probably been hearing a lot about USAID and the disruption between that agency and a group led by Elon Musk to tackle government efficiency. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he is now the acting administrator of USAID, which oversees billions in aid to other countries.
Every dollar we spend and every program we fund will be aligned with the national interest of the United States. USAID has a history of sort of ignoring that and deciding that they're somehow a global charity.
Staffers have been locked out of USAID headquarters in Washington, and the White House confirmed it plans to merge it into the State Department. So what do they do? USAID has been around since the Kennedy administration and has operated mostly independently, distributing food, humanitarian and other aid, including clean water programs, plus more, to over 100 countries. In a stunning announcement Tuesday, President Trump said,
"The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it."
Even Republicans were surprised to hear that. Mr. Trump shared no details during a press conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about how the U.S. would acquire Gaza. He also said Palestinians would have to leave. Rashida Tlaib is the only Palestinian American in Congress, and she said in a post on X, Trump was calling for ethnic cleansing. President Trump has signed an executive order banning transgender athletes from participating in women's sports.
From now on, women's sports will be only for women.
If schools don't comply, their federal Title IX funding will be in jeopardy. The president of the NCAA said recently that he was aware of fewer than 10 trans athletes among the 520,000 competing in 1,100 schools. A number of Democratic attorneys general are filing a lawsuit to block Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency from accessing government payment systems. Those systems contain sensitive personal information. New York Attorney General Letitia James and Illinois Congressman Sean Casten are among the elected officials taking the lead on this matter.
The actions that Musk and his IT goons have taken they're illegal, very clearly illegal, but so far unprosecuted actions, have already compromised millions of Americans' privacy and data security.
Hey, so y'all, here's the deal. I don't want to get into the political list right now. We'll hold off and when we get to the roundtable at the end of the show. But I do want to get into sports because we had some groundbreaking stuff happen, and it's Super Bowl weekend. People are on a high. We'll drop this show as soon as it's done, so we'll get some of the pre-Super Bowl hype. So when people listen to this, they'll be in a sports mood. So, but we will get to some of the politics in the list of this because I know we have some feedback to give. But a lot of groundbreaking things happened this week. The biggest thing was a Luka to the Lakers and Anthony Davis to the Mavericks. I'm going to go to you first, Howie. It is, now that, football season's pretty much over when we're talking about the Super Bowl and drafts coming up, but it's basketball season now. Quick thoughts on that big trade, man. And I do want to ask about the Hawks, but go ahead with that first.
Yeah, well, that was an exciting trade, and I think for at least a few days, the NBA had outpaced the NFL this week with that trade. And that being said, I thought initially that Dallas was the winner, thinking that you got a defensive player that can protect the rim, a guy who's scoring somewhere around 19 points a game. You got better ball movement. They played very good against Boston just recently. I was watching. The pace was much faster without Luka. The ball moved very well, and you see Klay Thompson becoming more of himself because he moves well without the ball and can get the open shot.
Yeah.
However, following the third trade, which include Williams from Charlotte, it may be a pretty good trade for the Lakers as well. They got better outside scoring with the 7'2" Williams, who brings in about again, somewhere around 19 points a game as well. He's going to be a rim protector where they lost Davis. And then you got Luka from the outside who can score the ball. So it may be an even trade overall. They're going to slow the pace down a little bit. That will benefit LeBron James as he reached the tender age of 40 and is still scoring double-doubles. So it may be a pretty good trade for both teams. We'll see. The biggest things now, Dallas is at number 8 in the Western Conference. LA's at number 5. At the end of the season, we'll see how that plays out and who benefits from that perspective moving forward. One last point, though, is the biggest loser may be Luka Doncic himself. He had, with Dallas, the max-out deal. He can get somewhere around $335 million a year. Now, with the move to Lakers, he's going down to maybe a max-out around $225 million, I should say. So he may be the biggest loser. But overall, I think it's a good trade for both teams.
And let me say this one quick thing. The tax liability in L.A. is going to eat him up because he's going from zero state taxes now to California.
Yes. So yes. A pay raise for Davis and a pay decline for Luka, right?
Absolutely.
I'm with you.
Absolutely. But I want to make like a cultural statement about this trade, and it reminds me of the time when this is like generational for the Lakers. I mean, the LeBron age, the LeBron era, no matter how you look at how LeBron is performing now, it's over. I mean, he's maybe 3 to 5 years max, and I'm pushing it on 5. Mm-hmm. So the LeBron era with the Lakers is done. What this does is it brings a 25-year-old in now to push the era forward. So it's no different than when the Lakers brought in Magic, when they brought in Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in LeBron kind of to fill the Kobe gap when Kobe retired. And now you've got Luka. So, as somebody who's been, I live in Atlanta, so you got to have a backup team. Y'all don't get mad at me. You got to have, and I'll explain why, but you got to have, there's no way that, some of y'all want to be like Baptist preachers and say, hey, stay on earth, and the best is coming in a later life. Because that's what you get with the Hawks. I'm gonna leave it at that.
No explanation needed.
So let me say, the Lakers have made the best move for the franchise. I applaud them. Somewhere Jerry Buss is applauding and screaming to his daughter Jenny, you did the right thing. So I give it to the Lakers. I think, Dallas is going to be fine. But we heard the conspiracy real quick.
Yes.
The conspiracy about the owners of the Dallas Mavericks. They're really into casinos.
Right.
So this one guy was saying the reason why they sent, this is crazy, they sent Luka out west is to drive up Laker, popularity and attendance, so that they can be happy spending money and going over to Vegas. I don't know where the dude I don't know where he got that from, but there you go. But you had something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Luka trade is definitely a Luka area now, because he got the Lakers by the balls right now, because he's only got 1 year contract left. He don't have to sign if he don't want to sign next year. He can say no. He can leave if he wants to.
Well, wait, let me ask you real quick. And I want to move on to, because we're in Atlanta, I want to talk about the Hawks real quick. And then, Tanya B, you can jump in as well. About the Lakers, I do want to get your feedback on it if you have anything. But I will say, has he gotten the Supermax? Howard, has he already got? He hasn't gotten the Supermax yet.
Luka?
Luka.
No, he was going to get it this year. That's why he lost $115 million, $100 million by going to the Lakers.
Yeah, let me tell you, I don't think, based on what the Mavericks have gone through, I don't think they wanted to pay that, and I think that was the big motivator for this deal, because LA, without a doubt, LA's willing to pay it.
Right, but they can't pay it though.
No, they'll figure out a way, because I think they'll figure out a way.
They said the most they can pay Luka is $240 million.
Yeah, somewhere 225 to 240. Yeah,
let me tell you, you hear that now, but there's going to be a way.
I mean, they'll find some kind of way. Probably get some incentives.
Find a way.
But either way, he lost a lot by going to the Lakers money wise.
Yeah, I think they're going to find a way, because he wasn't going to. I don't think he was not going to get it. He was not going to get it. And with the Mavericks, something was going to go down. And real quick, because we live in Atlanta, and wherever you live, you're probably watching your team and looking at the trades. And I got to say this, and I don't want to be hard, because even after the trade, I think the Hawks had lost 8 in a row. They won a game, they lost another one. Now they won another one, I guess, as we tape against Milwaukee after this trade. I was cool with the players they were giving up. Bogey was done. Okay, everybody knew, you can't have a guy who comes off the bench who's supposed to be your three-point shooter who can't shoot, who's not shooting. Okay, that's one. DeAndre Hunter, for the years he'd been here, was more probably on the injured reserve, the Emory list, than just about every player in the league, or any player on the team. So injuries hurt him. They put him on the bench. He's coming off the bench. He's going to be sixth man of the year. But I think they rode that horse. They rode that horse. So I expected him to go. I expected Clint Capella to go. Didn't happen.
Hoping he would go, right?
Yeah, I was hoping he would go. But for me, man, the Hawks have continued to do this to their fan base for years, and I, it's hard. It's even what I say now is going to be funny, but every time we get to this point where you think something is going to happen, it becomes what we call a salary dump, where they're really and truly just getting rid of money. The wrestler family kind of treats the Hawks like a commodity. It's like a stock. It's like bacon. It's like pork
bellies, yeah.
In trading places, yes.
So basically, when the pork bellies are high, they sell. When the pork bellies are low, they try to drive the value up so that they can sell. That's pretty much what they do. And all we've gotten back are average Joes for the most part. For the most part, I hate a trade where you got to explain who the player is you just picked up. For the most part, just about everybody we pick up, you got to explain. If I were to, like Tanya B's on the show right now, if I were to tell her, okay, one of the guys' last name is Levert.
It ain't Eddie, but he plays like Eddie probably. But next, yeah.
I don't know.
The only guy I knew was what's his name? And I can't even. Starts with an M.
Terrence Mann.
Yeah, Terrence Mann. He was the only guy I remotely knew. So it basically become like Cool in the Gang. Tanya B is Trey in the Gang.
That's it. Trey in the Gang. That's all I know.
That's the thing. That's one thing. I know a few things. I think that Atlanta puts so much weight on Trey Young. One man cannot carry a team, just like the 76ers did back in the day with Allen Iverson. And Trey Young gets hurt, it's over. And it's like, how long are they going to put the weight on that young man, and how long before he leaves?
But people will say to me, Tanya B, and I'm gonna go to you in a minute, Vi, that you don't know ball when you talk, because they always, basketball has become the place for geeky analytics guys, and they're so deep into analytics. I'm gonna give you a number. The number is 0.445. Okay, and .500. You've heard of that, Howard. What is 500?
That's middle of the road.
Even. The Hawks as a franchise, since they've been in Atlanta, are .495. I lie not. When you look at wins to losses, not over 500. You know what the Hawks are with Trey Young for 6 years, 6 full years. You know what they are?
.444.
Close. .445.
That's right.
Okay, see? And again, and if you weren't there, what would it be? I said, if he weren't there, would it be like .333?
Well, you know, who's to say who they would have picked up? But my thing is, in my opinion, and I got some things. I mean, I just have to say it. The Hawks, I think, are at the bottom when it comes down to franchises in this city. You know, I think the Braves are number one, without a doubt, with 2 championships. You've got Atlanta United with 1 championship.
Doing better.
Yeah, and you've got, at least the Falcons have made it to 2 Super Bowls, you know, since they've been here. And then you've got the Hawks. But regardless, they count. Okay. They count. Okay. So my whole thing is, you know, I have to say this. Trey's got to make a decision next year. And I think even though most fans who get caught up in the quote unquote hope of a better day for the Hawks are going to have to be realistic. This guy's been in the league. This is his 7th year. Mm-hmm. And he's at what, .445, under 500, regardless of what you're paying him and how much he makes. And when you look at this kind of trade that happened at the deadline, he's got to ask the wrestler people, the wrestler family, what are you going to do to help me take this team to a championship for my fans? He's got to ask, because that's the same reason Myles Garrett is looking at Cleveland right now, and he's asking to leave. Right. He doesn't want to stay in a spot where he's never going to win a championship. Eventually, these guys want to win championships. Plus, I think part of the disrespect that Trey gets is from ownership. It's the way the team is handled. You know, I don't think it's the way he treated the coach, Pierce. I think it really comes down to management. It comes down to ownership. It comes down to winning. So, Vi, you had your hand up.
Well, but you asked it from what I was saying. Is it really Trey's fault? Have they gave Trey any real help?
No.
So
I'm not here. Look, I like Trey. As a matter of fact, when you talk about Tanya B, I think, or either you, Howard, just mentioned the injuries. Trey's probably the most resilient player on the team.
Right.
And he's the smallest. He takes the most beating when he's driving into it. You know, he's coming in with the teardrops. He takes hits.
Yeah, give us some help.
Every game he comes back. So I don't blame Trey. You know, I think the franchise is cursed.
I was at the game Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Horrible game. I'm going, what am I watching? I thought it was going to be a blowout, and then the last 4 minutes they tied. I said, "Oh, right. That's a game." Where was this in the first half?
But see that you said it best. It's about consistency. You know, you and I, Howard, we follow the Hawks closely. We watch or we listen just about every game. The problem is uneven play. And I hate to make it about ESPN, but you never get a full game out of these guys. Their quarters, when they'll have a 20-point lead at halftime and completely collapse in the third quarter and lose.
I have not forgiven them for trading Dominic Wilkins. They ain't made up for me yet.
A lot of people have. A lot of people. But you know,
y'all wait till y'all get good and then trade it. What?
Yeah, I agree.
This is like a grooming. It's either a grooming ground or like the old horse farm. But I mean, truth be told, as messy as Dwight Howard is, at least he could play.
Yeah.
Even if he did play in a dress,
he can help Trey because he's a board guy. He don't need a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Hawks play slot machine basketball. It's like just when you're getting ready to get up and leave, you'll win a few coins and you put some more coins back in there. You think the Hawks about to get blowed out? They come back and tie it again.
Say that again for the people. Say it again. Slot machine basketball.
Exactly. Right. Just when you fed up with them, they'll
keep you coming back.
Yeah, because that's what they did to me. I'm at the game. I'm going, okay, I can leave early and beat traffic.
Exactly.
The next thing I know, they're 3 points down. I said, well, I'll be dang.
That's right.
Let me say this real quick. Historically, it's not all wrestlers because wrestlers have only owned the team for how long? Spirit, whatever they call the organization.
Oh, I think they may have been worse than Spirit of Atlanta, Spirit or something. They may have been worse than the wrestlers, but I don't know.
Man, go to New Orleans.
I think so.
Go to New Orleans and get the voodoo witch. The curse is on.
There's a curse. I mean, but let me mention some names. I'll mention names to you because I've been here this long. You had Lou Hudson, you had Pete Maravich, you had John Drew, you had Dominique. We've had marquee players over the years, but never really gave them the tools they needed. Exactly. They wound up having to do it all on their own. Eventually, they wear down, they get hurt, they become disgruntled, they move on. That's the story of Atlanta. There's a problem with marquee players coming here. I don't even think marquee players want to come here now. I think that's a big reason why they couldn't find any trade. Again, real quick, statistically, we are the second oldest team in the league that has not won a championship.
Okay, you said that has not won.
Why come here if you know you're fighting a losing battle? It's like being in a hood school and they give a teacher 30 students in a class and you got one book to share and every other page is ripped out.
Yeah,
right.
I agree. Right. But you're talking what? The first team is Sacramento. Sacramento's never won a championship. They're the first oldest, and the Hawks are the second oldest, going back to 1958.
Right.
And of course, that's not. They weren't even in Atlanta then. So technically, the Atlanta teams never won a championship.
But we haven't even made to the finals.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah. At least the Falcons made the two Super Bowls. I said, at least the Falcons made the two Super Bowls. We ain't even made to the finals.
So there are people, generationally, because I've been around longer, I got more years on me. There are people who are younger, who have hope, who want to fight and want to, argue for them. And I'm cool with that. Y'all can fight and argue, but the statistics do not bode well for this franchise. They don't. And you can go back. Again, 0.495, under 500, as a franchise going back to it. And I'm talking about going back to the 70s when they first came to Atlanta. And under Trey Young, 0.445.
Yeah, the future don't look good now.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's what I got to say. I just needed to say that. Go ahead.
Tell me, what's real interesting is you said during the trade deadline we couldn't get any marquee players to come and play for us, but a ton of marquee players live in the metro area. That's amazing to me.
It's amazing.
Yeah. You're black, you love Atlanta.
But I don't have much regard for the wrestler family,
right,
or the front office at all.
Yeah.
I don't. Let me be very clear. I don't blame this on Trey.
Right.
I'm not Trey hating. I think Trey's a great player. But I understand why he's snubbed. I clearly understand why he gets snubbed because the franchise as a whole just does not get the respect. Let me tell you.
Now that it's not his fault.
Yeah.
I don't think it's his fault.
And this is my last point, and we're gonna go to T, Tanya B.
Right.
He basically is with a franchise that's probably the 21st to 30th out of all the NBA franchises currently. When it comes down to when they do a list of best franchises in the league, typically the wrestlers fall somewhere over the last how many years they've been here, somewhere between 21st to 30th.
About the worst, kind of like the Carolina, Charlotte Hornets. I'm sorry, it was a Bobcats.
Hornets. Yeah. All right, y'all. Just wanted to say that I had to get that off my chest moving forward. All right. I feel better now. All right, let's go ahead and do it. Here we go.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tanya B.
Damn, I feel better.
I'm glad you feel better. Let's go Trey Young feel better.
Woosah. Because, hey, let me tell you, Tanya B. You better be glad the show is not the day after the draft. You better be glad. No, I'm just telling you, you better be glad we didn't have the show the day after the trade deadline. It would not have gone over like that.
Okay.
That was much more diplomatic, don't you think?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay.
You were. I got to give it to you. You're far more diplomatic than I would have been. And with that said, start off this week's cup of tea. with condolences to golf legend Tiger Woods. His parents were a very huge influence over his career overall, but he really gives gives it up to his mother. She drove him everywhere. The father taught him, the mechanics of golf, but his mother was his biggest cheerleader. She just passed away. She was out there at one of his events just 2 weeks ago. So, prayers up to Tiger Woods and with the loss of, his last parent. But, we can't go any further without going down to the 5,000 Black Baptist Church altars of Atlanta to say, I hope Irv Gotti can rest in peace, all things considered. But I'll just keep it real. Only 54 years young. He had the first stroke, and there was a picture of him. Someone leaked from the rehab center he was in. And then he had another one in the brain bleed, severe diabetes, and he refused to follow his doctor's orders. And when you don't, this is what happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And one thing I'll say, many of the Murder Inc. artists, such as Ja Rule and some others, took to social media to give their condolences. But I looked as of last night, noticeably absent from this group was Ashanti. The streets say she's expecting baby number 2. And then they said, they had this thing of, Ashanti, you ready? I need some more time. How much time do you need? I need 9 more months. So, but then she said she's going on a tour overseas with Sean Paul in April. But anyway, one thing you can't deny, love him or hate him, Irv Gotti, much like Puffy in the 90s, when it got to the early 2000s, Irv Gotti really did have his hand on a lot of the footprint of hip hop and R&B, with Murder Inc., with Ashanti, with, Ja Rule and, he did some good. He did a lot of grimy stuff too, and he did admit some of the mistakes he made, such as the big one I think people really gave him the side eye about was, spilling Ashanti's business. And I'm like, how do you go and you humiliate your wife and your children, by publicly talking about your infidelities, talking about how you were in love with her, talking about how, he was mad that Ashanti found happiness with Nelly and he tried to ruin her and said he'd never give her a master's, but I think she's going to get him now. Just, his antics, the infidelities, almost going to jail, messing around with the Supreme team in Griff up there in Harlem and his ties to the alleged drug kingpins and, that whole thing, the money laundering. But I'll say, he did leave a mark for all the good he did probably twice as much crime. But one thing I will say about this, even if you're not a fan of somebody, you may not like him at all, but 50 Cent needs to stop acting like a 7th grade mussy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's what he's doing.
Troll.
Oh, every time he's almost like Kanye. I don't get my way, I'm going to act a fool. Go somewhere and, count your money or go take care of your kids. Because people seem to forget that everything you put out there, even when you take it down, it's still out there.
Yeah.
So
trolls will be trolls, Tanya B. Trolls will be trolls.
50% ain't no good gonna come to you when you do stuff like this. So when anything happens to 50 Cent, he's not gonna have sympathy. He's not gonna have empathy. People will be like, see, karma. Just like people saying, karma came to Irv Gotti. 50 Cent, your day is coming, and that's all I'm gonna say. One thing I did want to say that one thing people forgot about Irv Gotti is when he was working with J-Lo, a lot of those songs in the early 2000s that he had a hand in, it was actually Ashanti's vocals, not J-Lo's vocals.
Interesting.
So Ashanti could have come out and really put him on Front Street, but she took the high road, and went on about her business. And I think she realized that, it would be revealed and it would come, to pass someday, and it has. So I wish Ashanti and Nelly the best, and Irv Gotti, I hope you can get out of purgatory, truth be told.
Yeah. Keep it going, Tanya. What you got next?
Okay, real quick. We got Dumb Donkeys of the Week. I'll just say this. Jay-Z and Diddy, that case with the 13-year-old, that has been voluntarily dismissed, but just when you thought there wouldn't be any more people coming forth, 2 more suits have been filed against Diddy. And that stunt he pulled with, my knees hurt, I got to go to the hospital to get out of this jail cell. He's right back in jail again. But I got to talk about Marcus, hee-haw, Jordan, son of Juanita and Michael. Now, I hear he's in rehab now, but this young man's got some issues, and one of them has been too much privilege. Now, he got arrested for the DUI and the drug charges, but let me just say this. How drunk are you when your Lamborghini gets caught on some train track and you can't move the Lamborghini, so you start to try to disassemble the train tracks? Which is heavier?
Ooh, Lord.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. And then here comes
Was he by himself?
Allegedly.
Okay.
Unless he was somebody else's wife.
Did she say this the
Because
seventh
he's
Trey?
being tied to now the pass around of Hollywood Nicole Murphy. Yes, I said it. But here's the thing: the cops came. Do you know who I am? I'm Michael Jordan's son. They said we don't care. You know, Marcus has been spiraling for quite a while. You know, with all of these, he has a certain type of woman that he likes, and they're usually older than his mother. But between the drugs, the cocaine possession, and then you know he got to jail and he had a request that they play Christmas music and Mariah Carey songs, especially for him. So that further lets you know this young man has got some issues he has to deal with. Like I said, I heard he's in rehab. He's out of jail. Of course, he pled not guilty, but he failed the sobriety test 3 times. What does that tell you? His aunt was drunk. Okay. So, you know, I just say, I know Juanita Leonard is probably mad. She already put, you know, foot to backside with him, even though he's a grown man. Juanita does not play. I think Michael, of course, is embarrassed by his antics because he's down in Florida where his father lives. And I just hope he gets the help he needs. You know, it's sad because privilege sometimes really brings problems to me. Privilege brings problems. Speaking of, we're on the P trap. Okay, and you saw that Orange Jr.'s pardoned prior to the Fuji, so I guess he can go on tour now, but Lauryn Hill is not interested in going on tour. And then I got the Grammys, the viewership was down. You got 3.5 hours of your life. You're not going to get back. You only gave out 9 awards, but you had 16 performances. I just will say shout out to Chapel Rowan for saying what she said about how record companies pimp their artists. The whole thing with Kanye and his wife on the red carpet, she is butt and naked, and nobody wants to see that. Then I heard they got put out because they weren't invited. Then I heard that wasn't the case, and they went to a party. They were licking each other, and all his antics have cost Kanye $20 million in overseas performance fees, and now he's aligning himself with Hitler and saying he's a Nazi. And the wife looks like she's on Thorazine. She always looks like she's in a catatonic state. And I heard that she was allowed to make one statement, and that was that Kanye owns my body. So you can take that however you want it. But now the Beyonce's one album of the year, Jay-Z can find something else to complain about. Yeah, she's going on tour. Tickets go on sale this coming Friday. The tour starts in April, goes through July. She'll be everywhere from New York to Paris and London. So good for her.
Good for her.
And lastly, we got to talk about Eddie Murphy. You know, it's got this documentary that's coming to Netflix, unlike the Prince documentary. It's supposed to be an intimate portrait of Eddie. And, he's going to be 64 next month, but he's been in the game for 50 years. That's a long time.
Yep.
Okay. And if you think about it, he really has entertained 3 generations of fans from, our movies like Beverly Hills Cop and Trading Places in the 80s. Then he did, the Clumps. Then what was it? The Nutty Professor. And then he did the Shrek franchise, and I'm hearing that he's going to be in Shrek 5, and that he may get his own what donkey is this character? That maybe a donkey movie.
Yeah.
But what people really want to know is, I wonder if all of this hype has to do with, will he or won't he show up for SNL at 50 next week? He's a very private man, but Eddie out here working, y'all. He's got this movie, The Heist, coming up on Amazon with Keke Palmer. Yeah. He's playing George Clinton in a documentary movie about the phone, nothing but the phone. And then he's going to be in a Pink Panther movie, and I guess Shrek 5 is coming. And so, shout out to Eddie. I want to say shout out to Lifetime. Lifetime, I think, did a good job with that Lisa biopic. I watched that last week. That was actually pretty good. This weekend is Gloria Gaynor. But as I say, hold on to your wig. It's about to get split on the 13th of this month, which is Thursday. That's Sly Stone. The Black Genius documentary comes on Hulu, and I think I saw a little bit more of it other than what clip is out there, and I think this could get Questlove another Oscar, just like the Summer of Soul. So
looking forward to it. Yeah, looking forward to it. Good stuff, Tanya B. Appreciate you. Definitely. Y'all know Eddie Murphy's still young, so he's gonna keep working. So I don't blame him.
I think he stayed out of the limelight because he did get caught up. When he first came out back in the days. Remember Raw?
Oh wait, let me tell you. I mean, we remember Eddie when he was first starting Saturday Night Live, and the energy level was up here. You know what I mean? The leather suits, the tight it's a different vibe with Eddie. Kids. I mean, he's on a different vibe. So I'm glad to see him doing his thing the way he's doing it. and coming out with all this, because you know what? As long as he's around, look, what y'all look at some of these guys like what I don't want to call like what's his name, Mel Brooks. These people in their 90s. You know what I'm saying? What's your name? Who died?
Betty White. No.
Betty White. I mean, you know, why not? Keep going, bro.
No,
Keep
but
going.
I know, but
there
comes a time that Tony
Dick Van Dyke. Keep going.
Oh, he's about to go. He's almost 100. But I'm saying there comes a time when you got to know what did Kenny Rogers say? No one to hold him, no one to fold him. I say no one to walk away and no one to sit down.
Let me tell you, Eddie's still making money. Keep going,
yeah,
bro.
well, I think it's the role. Al Pacino still does pretty good.
Yeah, he's still doing it.
But De
Niro's got 2 new movies coming out.
He can't do Dog Day Summer, but whatever it was. But he can't do
Dog Day Harlem. But I'm saying, Al Pacino looks like. He looks like the man from Times Square back in the day with the raincoat on. I'm sorry.
He really, just the last thing on that, he really is starting to look like the devil's advocate right now.
I'm sorry, dog.
He is.
Whoever his young baby mama is, he got him popping. But De Niro, I'm sorry. Not De Niro. Al Pacino, he ain't popping no more.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, and we're going to go to politics and wrap it up, y'all. My new series, man, to watch is Paradise. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Sterling K. Brown.
Heard of it.
If you've not watched it, I'm not going to give away the huge secret that really makes this show. And I'm just going to say, if you have an opportunity, you have Hulu, check it out. It is a massive twist about you. It just looks like a basic, assassination show. It's not. I'm going to leave it at that. The other thing is wrap up for Harlem. The final 2 episodes are out right now on Prime. I am really thrilled the way they took this show to the finale. They did a great job with it overall. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, you can binge it all now, or you can watch the last few if you haven't seen the last few episodes. Everything is out now on Prime. And my last, just to let you guys remind you, The Chi is coming back this year. They're saying somewhere around mid-2025 something, and that's probably going to happen May, June. Okay? All right. Appreciate you, Tanya B.
Thank you.
Say what?
I said thank you.
Well, good stuff. All right, y'all, let's go ahead. Let's do this, and we'll make it real quick. I just love, if you can, try to do it, your thoughts in about a minute and a half, because we could go on and on about what's happening, but I'm gonna say this:
the political roundtable.
And I'm gonna start with Howie, because Howie sends me the most political stuff, and you know what? I am guilty on sending it to him right back. But there's so much. I'm gonna say this: there's so much we could do the whole podcast on everything, but really and truly, what got to you this week? So I'm going to ask each of you if you've got one thing that really got to you this week. What got to you this week?
Well, this is real personal for me because I'm a federal employee. I work for a huge...
Don't say it too loud.
Don't say it too loud. I work for a very large federal agency, and what has happened is we're just paralyzed. Everyone is afraid to move. We can't do the work that we were employed to do. A lot of us are concerned about what's going on with these executive orders, and you have basically 2 weeks, definitely the last week, of people just wondering what to do. And I think that's more of an issue than anything. We are public servants who want to do our job, who want to be excellent at what we do when it comes to the public, but we've become almost like robots, afraid to do anything, unwilling to take any chances, unwilling to type the wrong message for fear that Dodge will come into our computers and point us out. So that's the biggest thing to me. They've just pushed us into a place where we can't do what we're supposed to do, and we can't be excellent about what we were hired to do. And that's my biggest concern when it comes to a political roundtable.
And when you mentioned Dodge or Doge, as some people call it, that is Elon Musk and the Power Rangers.
Exactly.
That he's got working, the guys between 19 and 24. And one was actually caught, if I'm mistaken, with racist posts and tweets. So he was fired.
Right, he was fired, right.
Yeah, so you got 19 to 24-year-olds going into your private information and so on and so forth. I'm going to go to you, Vi. What you got next?
Real quick, Tom, before you go to Vi, I don't want to minimize. I don't want to maybe maximize their age, because we have some extremely talented people that are in that age group.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah. But the thing is, first of all, Elon is not truly qualified
That's
to go
the thing.
in and do what he's doing. But when you've got the leader who's not truly qualified, and you've got a lot of these younger cats without the life experience under
Exactly.
him, that's
Exactly.
why people are, we don't even know.
Right.
So I get it, and absolutely, I don't want to sound
You
like an
said it.
ageist.
Right.
I don't want to sound like an ageist because I do agree. A lot of
Right.
the Silicon, but it's a Silicon Valley approach.
Right.
It's almost like when Zuckerberg dropped out of Harvard and started Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between starting Facebook and running the U.S. government.
Exactly. And that's my point. Just
Because
they're just
you've
not
got,
mature enough.
The
Right.
challenges you have, the biggest challenge you have is the Constitution.
Jeez. Right?
There's no
Right?
Constitution at Facebook. There's no Constitution at X. There's no
Exactly.
Constitution, at Instagram or Meta.
Right. Right.
All right, I'm going to go to you real quick. Vi, you got anything that stood out?
My biggest problem is, how are we letting this man who is not even from America come here and just disrupt the government system? Because you cannot run the government system as a private company. A private company ultimate goal is to make money, not take care of your people. The government ultimate goal is to take care of the people.
And
So
not to
all
mention
the-
the conflicts of interest. Go ahead.
Right. So the government job is to make sure Americans are taken care of. A company goal is to make sure that company is taken care of. The company don't come before the people. And that's what they treat. You cutting funds. Where is this money gone that you taking it from? All this money you stopping, where is it? My thing, to me, no one asking the right questions. So you said we're wasteful spending. So where are y'all sending this money to? Where is it going? Who is it going to?
Yeah. So true.
And
I'm going to go to you, Tanya.
what right you have to go in and just shut down the government?
Yeah. Good point. I'll come back to you, Vi, if you got something else. Go ahead, Tanya B.
Yeah, and I think to speak to what Howard said and what Vi said, it's like, if you're going to do this, you got to have a plan. And we all know there is no plan. A concept of a plan is not a plan. Okay. What's concerning me is just the economy being so vulnerable by all of these reactive decisions that are being made. Nothing's proactive. I think it's all reactive. And you know what happens when you do that? You can't say, oh, I don't like this dress, I want to return it. You can't do that. I think it also can make this country more of the laughing stock. And it can also make the U.S. very vulnerable at the same time. So again, when you're not taking care of the people, what happens if the people decide, we wake up one day and go, oh, we're going to revolt because we don't like this. We could have the riots all over again. This whole thing about the U.S. taking Gaza is just ridiculous and butt booty. I think also even things, I find this interesting, I'm more of an artsy creative type of a being, but when you see how the Kennedy Center has done so much to lift up the culture of people of color, even with Kennedy Center honors, even with the artists in residence like MC Lyte and Nas and Q-Tip, and guess now he's saying, and you know who he is with a small H, he's going to get rid of everybody at the Kennedy Center. He's going to run that too. So it's like, you just want to ruin everything. It's like somebody who throws a bomb. It's almost like in Waiting to Exhale, when Angela Bassett flicked the cigarette and blew up the man's BMW and just walked away.
Yeah.
Okay. This fool's going to walk away and we going to be burning. Okay.
So true.
That's what I think. And lastly, when we talk about Black history, I want to say shout out to this man who does not get enough credit. A man named Paul Williams, not the one from the Temptations. Paul Williams, one of the first major Black architects of this country. He built LAX. And what's interesting is he did such a good job. You had people like Bob Hope and Lucy and Desi Arnaz and Frank Sinatra. He could build their homes in neighborhoods where he wasn't allowed to live.
Wow.
Yeah. Good stuff. Hey, I'm just going to say, and this is my thing, I think our international relationships are basically heading to a point of to where they are irreparable.
Yes.
I think the Gaza move, if there's even an attempt, puts us in harm's way. And there are reasons why I think it puts us in harm's way. I don't want to verbalize that on the podcast because I think you know where I'm going with it.
That's right.
But I think it wakens some cells that we don't need wakened that may be right here in the U.S. I think it's a bad move. The other thing is, I think people need to truly understand, even though the Mexico tariffs and the Canadian tariffs are pretty much on hold for 30 days. Chinese, we don't know how that's starting to affect prices. But you and I, Howard, had the conversation that, the global economy keeps prices down.
Exactly.
If you're talking America first, and you're attempting to bring everything back in to be produced in America, I hate to say this, but you're talking about prices going sky high.
Yes.
Because the American worker does not work for what the Chinese worker is working for.
Exactly.
The Mexican worker is working for. The Filipino worker is working for. All these other countries, I hate to say it, it's almost like slave labor. I hate to say it. You're for human rights, but you're still buying goods from these other countries where they barely pay anybody. Then you talk about the unionization of America. All these things are going to pile on. So, yeah, you can ask that all the products come back, but you're going to be paying more.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to say that for people who are, I'm all about it, but I just don't see how you can keep prices the way they are right now. Vi, you're familiar with Walmart. And what percentage would you say real quick, China, the Chinese goods versus American goods? What?
Probably about 60-40.
Yep. There you go.
And that 60 ain't American.
Yes.
Even President Trump, everything that President Trump sells in his name, it's made by China.
It's made by China.
America. It's not made in America.
And you look at stores like our people can barely afford to go to, and it's a shame that people have to go shop at Dollar General and Dollar Tree.
All that stuff's China.
Everything in there.
Yep.
Once in a blue moon, you might find something from Pakistan or some other country, but almost everything in there comes from China, up to and including the batteries. Okay,
that is why Temu is so successful.
Exactly right.
Well, and
Alibaba and you know what? And Amazon. But I'm gonna leave it at that. We gotta go. We gotta wrap. So let's go.
It's time to wrap it up. This is the G Podcast.
All right, y'all. Tanya B, you got some shout outs. Go ahead.
Shout out to my sisters, the bird sisters in the DMV. When I say shout out to my people in Boston, I want to say shout out to my new posse in, I call it Atlantic City. I call it Frantic City, New Jersey. Thank you for checking out the podcast. Thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that QR code so you can check out the latest edition of The Birdwire. Hands down, bar none, the undisputed home of the best new and classic independent music. Holla.
There you go. Howard, you got some shout outs, man?
Hey, man, I appreciate the invitation. I want to say hello to a friend of mine, Maidensville, up in New York City. And I have one quick question. Can you guys tell me who this person is? Ledisi. She's a soul singer, and she is really, really good.
Ledisi will be singing at the Super Bowl. Make sure you tune in before 6:30. She's performing along with John Baptiste and some others. Yes, she's the Grammy Award-winning artist, and she's been around for a long time. I found Ledisi. I used to go to the Bay Area back in the 80s, so she now is getting her flowers. And I'm telling you, she has a new song you can hear on my show called Love You Too. She has an album out called The Good Life, and it is everything. She's flat-foot singing with her pocketbook on stage. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Hey, y'all taking country commentator shout-outs. I just want you to know that.
I'm sorry. I just added it to my
list. You got 1 second.
I have no shout-out. All I got to people, do not bury your head in the sand. Know what Trump doing. You ain't got to pay attention to it 100%, but know what he's doing because it's going to affect you one way or not. Just pay attention.
Good done. Good deal. Thank you, Vi, for keeping it short, man.
Sorry about that.
Tanya B just took your shout out.
I yield to him next week.
I love your thoughts, y'all. Go to the QR code, logo, social media. Links are there. Choose the people poll, voicemail, all that stuff there. So I'm going through my shout outs. 25 for 2025. Go ahead. You can do the QR code and you can support us there. Thank you, fan base. We are there. Again, shout out to Talib Shabazz. He'll be back. We got to work out some technical stuff, but he will be back. Vi, appreciate you, man. Howard, thank you, man. Howie, Hitman. Tanya B, thank you so much. You took Vi's with Ledisi. You took Vi's 30 seconds, but that's all good. Y'all love your feedback. Go there, QR. And with that, y'all, episode 255 is in the can. Love you, y'all. Peace and power to the people. Thank you so much, y'all. Take care. Have a good week.
You've been listening to This is the G Podcast. This is the G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.